Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. A lot of happenings are going on behind the scenes in Kenya. On Friday last week, the Supreme Court gave a landmark ruling, a ruling that was interpreted to mean the court was paving way for men to marry men, women to marry women. In their ruling on Friday last week, the Supreme Court made it very clear that even though gayism and lesbianism are all illegal in Kenya, the groups have a right of association. That ruling has united Kenyans against the Supreme Court. William Ruto has been silent on that ruling since last week. It's only yesterday that he came out in public to disown that ruling. And that's very uncommon of William Ruto because he's a person who is known to be very fast to comment on issues. But on this one, he was taking his sweet time to respond. In this video, I want us to dig deep into this story for Kenyans to know the high-octane politics being played on this issue of LGBT. If you are watching us, but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Give it a like, please. Yes. I've always maintained here that William Ruto and his team are very predictable, and you can just tie the dots to know exactly what is happening behind the scenes. The Supreme Court ruling on gays and lesbians had William Ruto's blessings. And it's highly possible that it might have been William Ruto himself who prevailed upon the Supreme Court judges to make the ruling as they did. What William Ruto is now doing is just politics of propaganda. Yes, he wants to be seen as not part of that ruling. The truth of the matter, that ruling, if you look at it objectively, it had William Ruto's blessings. On Friday last week, the Supreme Court issued that ruling. On the same day, Jill Biden, America's First Lady, arrived in Kenya. 2 days later, we saw the Supreme Court, through Martha Koome, demanding more funds to be allocated to the judiciary. And Koome was reminding William Ruto to keep his promise to the judiciary. All those incidences were well planned. And I'm saying they were well planned because sometimes back, when the government was forcing GMOs on Kenyans, we saw Bill Gates land in Kenya, and he was even encouraging Kenyans to adopt GMO maize. Yes. So you are seeing that things are just well planned in this case. Jill Biden's arrival in Kenya was also part of the plan to influence Kenya to actually accept or to adopt LGBT. That's exactly what is going on here. William Ruto's style and brand of politics is based purely on lies and propaganda. And I'm saying that with a lot of confidence because that's the actual truth. William Ruto has been silent on that ruling since last week because he was part of it. But now as pressure was growing, Kenyans were uniting against that ruling. William Ruto wanted to use that opportunity to actually also be seen to be against that ruling. And I'm saying that because William Ruto has numbers in parliament, and he need not necessarily shout out in podiums or in political rallies against such kind of a ruling. Let him just mobilize his elected leaders in parliament to make sure they pass laws that will render that ruling by the Supreme Court null and void. Because I believe the judiciary's main role is just to interpret the laws. Ruto has numbers in parliament. Let him mobilize these numbers so that they can pass a law that will render that law, that verdict by the Supreme Court, null and void. Ruto need not necessarily shout in public. That's one thing William Ruto should do. If he does that, maybe he can convince some of us that is against that ruling. And if you look at William Ruto, Ruto is an individual who is very desperate to impress the West, the foreigners. And I'm saying that because look at William Ruto for the time he has been the president. At one point, he was pledging to increase some money for some organizations in the United States of America. We saw him giving relief food to Somalia. And in the recent days, he has been pleading with the West, America, Britain, and other West countries to put sanctions on Raila Odinga. So we are dealing with a leader who is very desperate to please the West, and is also very desperate to get some favors from the West. And it's a fact, it's the West, America and the allies who are actually pushing this LGBT debate and issue. And if that's the case, I'm saying William Ruto cannot go against that because he's very desperate to please the West. So the talks yesterday that he will not allow this in Kenya, those are just propaganda, cheap politics by William Ruto and his team. He has numbers in parliament, let him do the needful. And besides all that, I'm seeing a William Ruto who is also just trying to divert attention. Kenyans are really going through a lot of economic stress. Cost of living is skyrocketing each passing day. And William Ruto is very good when it comes to diverting attention. And it's only remaining about 5 days to the planned demonstrations. All these are schemes and maneuvers to divert attention. That's exactly what is happening here. Because Ruto, without propaganda and without lies, he cannot sustain his politics. That's exactly what is going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop it there. We are still working on our video where we are meant to understand that police are really bringing a lot of chaos at Jacaranda. We are still working on that video. Make sure you stay tuned for that video by subscribing, because immediately we are through, we'll actually share with you here what is happening at Jacaranda. Let me stop it there. But even before I stop, just as I did state when we were starting, if you are watching us but you are not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like, and to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support us, because some of you have been asking for that, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through that number. William Ruto's remarks yesterday, those are clever political schemes to divert attention. Ruto has realized the countries against that. So he wants to swim with that wave. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.